Okay, so today I'm going to explain a couple creative uses for compressors, something a little bit more advanced than just dynamic control. So the first thing I would like to discuss is how to add attack to a signal. Attack means giving it more of a transient peak. That transient peak will allow it to cut and will allow it to get clarity in a mix. So this is the track we're going to be using as an example. It's pretty simple, but we're going to start with the drums and then I'll get to vocals later on. So the first thing, I'm going to start on the snare. I'm going to solo the snare. If you're mixing or compressing, you should do it in the mix, but for the ease of explaining things, I'm going to just keep it separate. I've done this tutorial a couple times, so I think I'm going to, have it nice and clear this time. So one of the methods I like to do, I like to clamp the threshold, highest ratio, lowest threshold. I want it to hit every single peak, just so I could hear what it's doing. So to add attack to a sound, you slow the attack on the compressor down so it lets the initial peak through, but you have the release fast enough to where it lets off before the next transient peak comes through. So here we go. Pay attention to the meter up here. It's Fruity Limiter. Terrible for anything, but pretty decent as like a visual meter to see transients. So this is what it sounds like stock. Not bad. It's already pretty punchy now. But let's see how tight we can get it. It's pretty tight. So you probably notice there's these little peaks right here that are still quiet and they're ramping up. Well, that's the release. The release is a little bit too slow for the rolls. So the way to fix that is to lower the release, make the release time quicker. So I'm going to try it. There we go. So you can see it still hit the first one, but it's good. It's fine because it's got everything else shaped in a way I like. So let's see how much I'm hitting it. I'm hitting about 12 decibels of reduction, which is pretty crazy. So I'm going to lighten up on the threshold and go to a lighter ratio. With a snare, I don't like to go super heavy, so I'll keep it at 8. You could get away with 4, but I'm going to go with 8. That's pretty okay to me. So I like to keep my snare compression not too much above, 5. It's okay if it goes to 10 every so often, but it's not really great to have it straight up squishing and making everything sound real pudgy. So let's move on to the kick. This one we're going to teach how to give it more sustain versus attack. The way you give sustain is you have it turn down the initial transient and turn up the release. So this is the kick. It's pretty okay. Compressor is turning on a little bit, but you get what it sounds like. I want it to have a little bit more beef. So let's do the same thing I did before. 20, smash it. It's tight. So let's loosen this up. Or tighten it, sorry. Now I'm going to turn up the release a little bit. So I want to keep the initial peak down, but I don't want it to stay so long that the next hit of the kick has no transient at all. I want a little bit of it there. There we go. A little bit of attack, but not too much. Now let's go 8 for 8 to 1 for the ratio. So that's with the compression. Gotta turn it up, it's a little bit quiet. Okay, there we go. We added a little bit of a tail, but since the gate's only letting so much through, it'll only let so much through. But we did raise the bits at the end, just a little bit, not a lot. So this is what the kit sounds like raw. I'm going to bypass the compressors. Now I'm going to turn on the kit compression. It's staying a little bit more. Now let's turn on the snare compression. Now off. So just with that little bit of compression, the snare's now jumping out, the kick staying present a little bit longer so you know that the kick's there. And we can move on to the final thing. The final one is just problem solving. One of the things that you may run into is you have a dynamic instrument that when you compress it, like you have it set at one part, but then during others it's too quiet still, or it's too loud, or it just sounds overly squished. Like the compression is just sucking the life out of it. Well, you can always stack compressors. With the first compressor, you can use it to catch any fast transient. So if there's like a P or T or something hard, or the person just hits a note with a little bit too much power regularly and you don't want to fix it with automation, you can put a first compressor, real fast attack, real fast release. It'll catch that initial transient and it'll turn it down. So let's do that.
What you gonna do?
Ooh, that's loud. I apologize. That was loud.
What you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? So what you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? Let it go. Let it flow.
Okay, there you go. Before,
What you gonna do? The choice is up to you.
you see these peaks right here that just jump out and then everything else is down here? With a little bit of that compression,
What you gonna do?
oh, gotta unpause it.
What you gonna do? The choice is up to you.
See that? It's more manageable. And that's the first compressor. It's just getting in the ballpark, getting rid of the super jumpy peaks. Now, the second one, it's going to be dynamic control. So I'm going to lower this before it is loud as well.
What you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? So what you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? Let it go. Let it flow. Feel it in your soul. Feel the beat. Get on your feet. Let the music take control. Ain't no more to say. Not today. Set your mind free.
Okay. So I just dialed it in real quick. I didn't want too much deviation. I wanted it to stay pretty much all focused at around the same volume. So before...
What you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? So what you gonna
First
do?
compressor.
The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? Let it go. Let
Second
it flow.
compressor.
Feel it in your soul. Feel the beat. Get on your feet. Let the music.
And you can see, like, it pretty much leveled it out. So I'll play it over the drums.
What you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in
It's
the
cutting
way,
pretty well.
or will
Let's turn it up.
Today, so what you gonna do? The choice is up to you. Will life get in the way, or will you groove today? Let it go, let it flow. Feel it in your soul. Feel the beat. Get on your feet. Let the music take control. Ain't no more to say. Not today. Set your mind free.
There you go. We learned to give attack, give sustain, a little bit of both. You can, mix and match. You could have the compressor back off a little bit on the peak, but then squeeze real hard on the tail to add sustain. So you can add both attack and release, like we did on these vocals. Or you could just use it for attack or just release. It all depends on what you need. So next time you reach for a compressor, think to yourself, do I want to use this stylistically? Or do I want to use this to control dynamics? You can do both. Doesn't have to be one or the other. So hopefully you learned something. And that's really it. Peace.